All right. Kept you waiting long enough. Here is the alternate ending, part 9. So Keigo takes you back to his apartment. And usually at this point of the story, the Yandere would drug you in some kind of way to lock you up. But Keigo? No. He's here for the long game. He doesn't mind playing a little longer. So what does he do instead? Simple. He orders all of your favorites. Your favorite ice cream, your favorite food, your favorite booze. And as much as you protest, telling him that is way too much, he doesn't care. He's the number 2 pro hero. He gets more than enough money to spend. So let him spoil you a little bit. Once you're filled up on food, you guys start eating ice cream, drinking, and bitching about Todoroki. You're telling Keigo all about the fact that you got your hair done, you got a new outfit, you went out with the whole 9 yards to look nice on this date. Only to get stood up? How much of a jerk is Todoroki? And he has to agree. Why let someone like you go through all that effort to just not show up? On the outside, Keigo is smiling, comforting you, but on the inside, he is seething. He is planning different ways to kill Todoroki, despite the fact that he is the child of his idol. Hours later, it's well into the night, and you are absolutely hammered. It doesn't really help that Keigo kept handing you drink after drink after drink, but it was supposed to be a good night, right? Why would you question that? Anyway, it is far, far too dangerous for someone like you to walk the streets to go home, especially while drunk. So, Keigo offers you his spare room. Now, mind you, up until a couple of months ago, Keigo didn't have a spare room. He never wanted a spare room until he met you. He had one specially made for this situation. You're too drunk to question anything, so you agree, and he leads you to his spare room and lays you down on the bed. And you promptly pass out, being none the wiser. When you wake up the next morning, obviously hungover because you got no water at the end of the night, you sit up and realize that this room doesn't have a window. You think that's really weird. Usually bedrooms have windows. It's the law after all. But you figure maybe it was an office space that he turned into a spare room. So you just got up and brushed it off and made your way to the door, only to find that it's locked. You try and try and try, but you just can't get the door open. That is, until it unlocks from the outside, and Keigo walks in with a cup of water and some pain meds. He was surprised to see that you were up and about, considering how much you drank last night, but needless to say, he is excited to see you. Oh, Songbird, you shouldn't have gotten up. I was coming to give you water and some meds. You should go back and lay down. You try really hard to protest, to ask him why the door locks from the outside, as he's gently pushing you back into bed. He does encourage you to drink the water and take down the pain medication, knowing that it's going to help you in the long run. Once you're all done drinking the water and taking the meds, that's when he lets his little facade slip. He explains the reason why the door locks from the outside is so you can't get out. This room is for your safety, and your safety alone. When you look at him all confused, he continues and explains that he's been in love with you since the day he met you. And he's been planning this room to be yours for months. He tried and tried and tried to convey to you how much he loved you, how much he cared about you, how much he wanted to be with you over the past few months, almost to a year. But you never caught on. And then when he found out that you had a date with Todoroki, he just couldn't bear the thought. So he had to act. Clearly, you were being manipulated by Todoroki and everybody else in society. So it's up to him to protect you from that. And the best way to do it is in the soundproof room that he had built. And once you learn that he's right about the world, then you can be let out. As Keigo talks, you notice that he looks more deranged than he ever has. his smile is just a little bit crooked, and you just can't believe what he's saying. He's going to hold you prisoner? You get up real quick and try to make it to the door, but of course Keigo blocks your way and grabs you by your arms and tries to explain to you that he knows that this is scary, but to trust him and believe in him, and everything's going to be okay. You'll see. I'll protect you from the world. You have nothing to fear with me, Songbird. But obviously you're not listening. You're completely and utterly hysterical. How could someone you trusted do this to you? You keep on trying to fight him. That is, till you feel a jab in your neck. You finally look up at Keigo again and realize he had a syringe in his hand. And he looks at you with such hurt and tells you how sorry he is. But you're freaking out a little too much. You need more rest, and you can talk about this later. And as he says that, your world fades to black, and you're knocked out cold. And from then on, that is your life. You just know these four walls. Keigo brings you a new book every day to read, so you're not too bored. But you don't touch them. You barely touch the food he brings. You don't even look at him when he comes in to tell you what's going on outside, because he knows how much you enjoy the world and would like to know what's going on in it. He knows that you just need time. This is a huge adjustment. He just has to be patient with you. But he just wishes that you look at him in the eye again so you can see those pretty eyes of yours one more time. But you refuse. And he just has to live with that for a while. You believe that someone will come look for you at some point, right? You have family, you have friends. But Keigo did a real good job covering his tracks. As far as anybody knows, you just had enough of this big city, packed up and left. I mean, he did go to your apartment to pack up a suitcase after all. You need clothes. Just no one saw him do it. All loose ends are tied up. Well, except for one. Keigo needs to come up with a plan to deal with Todoroki and his never-ending questions.